Our service team is warm and thoughtful, always paying attention to your needs and making you feel at home. Come to Sun Valley and let delicious food and beauty meet. Address Gure, next to Mary Queen Church. Order phone number 09-280-76300. In the beautiful Juba, there is a courtyard restaurant from the east.
Driving in demanding environments can make your engine work harder, adding stress to all the internal components, making them wear out more quickly. Engine combustion produces ash and other deposits that can form a sludge, blocking vital oilways and restricting oil flow throughout your engine. ADNOC Voyager is specially formulated to guard against sludge buildup.
Regional leaders and delegates convene in Kampala to address the ongoing instability in Eastern DRC. Government unveils Women and Children Empowerment Project. And authorities in Upper Nile State launch Rang River Port Malakal Road construction. Hello and welcome to SSBC 1 p.m. News, coming to live in the national capital Juba. Who's me, Abraham Aken. We thank you all for joining us. We begin in Ugandan capital Kampala, where heads of state and delegates from across Great Lakes region have adopted a new action plan aimed at addressing the ongoing instability in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, where M23 rebel activities have intensified after battling the Congolese armed forces for years. The summit, chaired by Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni, seeks to implement a decade-old peace pact designed to restore peace and stability to the region. The situation in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo remains tense, with Kinshasa accusing Kigali of backing the M23 rebels, an accusation denied by the Rwandan government. President Salva Kiir Mayardit is being represented by his Vice President for Economic Cluster, Dr. Benjamin Bolmel. SSBC's Abraham Falek reports.
The energy was high at the summit as heads of state and government reaffirmed their commitment to the peace, security and cooperation framework, paving the way for its implementation to restore political stability in Eastern DRC. The region has long been plagued by M23 rebel activity, posing a threat to both regional security and development. Vice President for the Economic Cluster, Dr. Benjamin Bolmel, represented South Sudan on behalf of President Salva Kiir, emphasizing South Sudan's dedication to the broader regional effort to find lasting solutions. Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni, who hosted the summit and has now assumed the role of chair of the regional oversight mechanism, opened proceedings with a call for regional unity, pursuit of peace, extending his appeal beyond just the Great Lakes region.
There was a huge rebellion by people called Simba. These were peasants who were supporting Lumumba. They were not well organized, but you could see they were popular and very angry, but also not disorganized, believing in witchcraft and so on.
A key outcome of the summit is the adoption of a new action plan aimed at revitalizing the peace, security and cooperation framework, a landmark agreement originally signed in February 2013. Many acknowledge the agreement has faced significant implementation challenges over the past decade.
So it was a big problem of politics of identity, tribes, religion, not listening to the nationals and depending on external support. Now, His Excellency referred to it, the new dimension, and also not caring about the neighbors.
The oversight mechanism serves as a primary decision-making body for the framework. This annual meeting provides an opportunity for leaders to assess progress and renew their collective commitment to peace and stability. Abraham Felix, SSBC.
Government is advising the public to adhere to preventive measures against the spread of cholera, which so far claimed lives and infected majority others across the country as it continues to spread. This follows a briefing to the Vice President for Service Cluster, Josephine Joseph Lagu, by the Acting Minister of Health, James Hosmai, accompanied by the Ministry's Under Secretary, Dr. Anin Cook. SSBC's Itlagaga Michael reports.
Vice President and Chair of Service Cluster Josephine Lagu on Wednesday listened to updates from the Acting Minister of Health James Hosmai and the Under Secretary in the Ministry of Health Dr. Anen Ngotngot about the status of cholera outbreak across the country, especially for the past 2 weeks.
These cases, 32 deaths out of 19 facilities were reported in 30 counties, and these cases came from the following areas: 652 from Robkana, 471 from Juba County, and then 333 in Gorial East County in Warabi State, and then 320 registered in Toin North in Warabi State again.
Speaking during the meeting, Vice President Josephine Lagu urged the public to continue adhere to the preventive measures announced by the Minister of Health and report any suspicious cases to the nearest health centers.
As part of combating the disease, public are urged to continue adhering to the already announced preventive measures by the Ministry of Health. Among them, boiling drinking water, using of pit, latrine, and practice of hygiene and sanitation.
In another meeting, Vice President and Chair of Service Cluster Josephine Lagu met with the chairpersons of commissions and discussed their activities and major challenges facing the different commissions in carrying their duties.
Our challenges has been extremely very difficult for us to find a workplace. Many commissions were renting, and there has not been outgoing money to pay those rents, so most of the commissions were chased out from their buildings, and now they don't have those places to work. Services resources are no longer there, so things like water, if anybody at all has a building, you cannot afford utilities, you cannot afford to maintain those offices. The other one we came for is that commissions are here, and we are part and parcel of the executive, but we seem to be left out in any function that being done by the government, and we are not considered if there are functions of the government. The commission are not invited.
Vice President Josephine Lagu promised the commission's chairpersons to forward their challenges to the concerned line ministries and high authorities for further consideration.
Vice President and Chair of Service Cluster Josephine Lagu met with the chairperson of commissions and discussed the activities and challenges facing the various commissions in executing their various duties. Vice President Josephine Lagu promised the chairperson of the commissions to forward their challenges to the line ministries or concerned ministries and also to the highest authority in the country.
Vice President and Chair of Service Cluster Josephine Lagu engaged with Archbishop Elias Taban and the two discussed cooperation between the government and churches, especially in areas of service delivery such as education, health, as well peace building.
To discuss about the church and government working hand to hand, especially in service provision. We have a lot to do together in common with the government. Education, health, those are some of the services that we can render together. Peace building, reconciliation and healing. It is a shared thing between us and the government. So I came today to just congratulate her, because since she was brought into the position, I've never come to her office. Secondly, also, just to let her know that I have just come from Nairobi from our Evangelical Alliance General Assembly, and what the Lord also has done for us, just to brief her.
Authorities have begun developing a new urban development plan aligned with regional standards as they embark on enhancing city infrastructure projects aimed at beautifying the capital city. This follows a briefing to the Vice President for Infrastructure Cluster Taban Dengai by a delegation from Juba City Council led by the Deputy Mayor for Administration and Finance, Tik Mayardit. The delegation shared outcomes from the recent participation in the Mayor's Forum for IGAD member states held in Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa, marking the first time the country took part in these discussions, with this year's forum addressing challenges related to migration, displacement and urban development.
In that conference, we really benefited a lot. We have talked to the City Alliance, and City Alliance are the ones which are funding the cities, which are being turned into the urban development. And in that kind, we also agreed with the City Alliance to fund our cities. We did not only defend our 4 cities, but we defend 10 cities from South Sudan and 3 administrative areas, so that they can also be considered as the cities of South Sudan. So in that, we got a support from all the countries. The City Alliance agree with us, and they are saying that you go and write your projects so that.
The UK government has reaffirmed its continued support to girl-child education in the country. This comes in a meeting between the National Minister of General Education and Instruction, Dr. Abol Kuyok, and the UK Ambassador David Ashley in Juba on Wednesday. In a statement to SSBC, Minister Kuyok acknowledges UK support in improving the country's education sector, with Ambassador David affirming his country's support towards developing education sector.
We have done a lot of progress in terms of girls' education. We are almost attaining gender parity in primary education. If you look at the number of girls and boys in primary schools, is almost the same. But although we experience some problems when the girls progress to secondary education, so we reviewed that. Given the current situation in terms of budgeting in the UK government. So it is also important for us as the government of South Sudan to improve on our own domestic financing. I think we need to put our money in education. The ambassador and his staff committed themselves to continue to support education in South Sudan, which is good. So we'll continue to work with them in this partnership so that the gains that we have had should not be lost.
Proud of our improvements in primary and secondary school, and particularly the increasing enrolment of girls and boys at primary school. So we remain committed to supporting South Sudan in terms of education. Clearly, for any country to develop, education is critical. So as well as our support, we are looking to the government to invest more in terms of education moving forward. It needs to be a critical part of the budget. And as in any country, development has to rest on peace as well. And so clearly we hope we will see progress being made urgently.
Still to come here on the News Hour, Plan International has launched a 5-year strategic plan for 2025-2030 aimed at responding to the country's evolving needs and challenges. We are going for a short break and we will be back with more stories. Welcome back from that short break, and in case you have just joined us, this is SSBC 1 p.m. News coming to live in the national capital, Juba, with me, Abraham Ken. Now, Plan International has launched a 5-year strategic plan for 2025-2030, a move aimed to respond to the country's evolving needs and challenges. The strategy places a strong emphasis on empowering women and children. The project targets 5 million people, including women and children. Leila Osman has the details.
Girls' education, ending child marriage and youth engagement takes center stage as Plan International unveils its new strategic plan in Juba on Wednesday. Presiding over the event, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Hussein Abdul Bagi, highlighted the importance of the strategy in building a just and inclusive society where no one is left behind. He emphasized the role it plays in safeguarding the dignity, safety, and empowerment of children and youth, especially in ending harmful practices.
It is paramount that the government will support the strategy to prioritize children, youth, and particularly girls and young women. As a Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, I particularly value the focus on livelihoods and resilience, which align closely with our efforts to improve food security, enhance rural development, and empower communities to achieve food and nutrition security.
The Undersecretary in the Ministry of General Education and Instruction, Kashwal Pyok, affirms that the strategic plan goes beyond words on paper. He stated that its focus reflects the lived realities of communities across South Sudan, and reaffirmed the government's commitment to working alongside Plan International and other partners.
I am deeply encouraged to see that this strategy places girls' education, child protection, youth leadership, and humanitarian response at its core.
Angela Murithi, Regional Director for Plan International East and Southern Africa, voiced concern over the many girls whose dreams of becoming doctors or lawyers are crushed due to systematic barriers and harmful cultural practices.
This new country strategy from Plan International is more than just a document, it's a commitment, a promise to place the rights, voices and aspirations of children, girls and young people at the heart of everything we do. We are prioritizing education, protection from violence, youth economic empowerment, humanitarian scale-up, including working across borders.
In his remarks, the interim country director of Plan International South Sudan, Paul Lusatu, says children are the heartbeat of the nation. He outlined the 4 key pillars of the new strategy, which is inclusive, quality education, protection from violence, youth leadership and economic empowerment, and expanded humanitarian and cross-border programs.
These children are the heartbeat of our nation, and today, through our collective efforts, we reaffirm our commitment to building a future where their dreams are within reach.
The Executive Director of Generation 711, Eunice Anthony, says the campaign targets illicit alcohol use and drug abuse among children and youth, a step towards protecting young lives.
Being the speaker for the Children and Young People's Parliament gave me opportunities to represent my peers in both national and international conferences, advocating for the rights of children and the needs that mattered most to them.
The new strategic plans aims to tackle the root causes of the challenges faced by girls, vulnerable children, youth, and women across South Sudan. Leila Osman, SSBC.
Government and the World Bank have reviewed the bank's funded projects in information and technology sector, including sustainable growth, inequality reduction, and resource management. The meeting also discussed funds allocated by the World Bank to support South Sudan's Vision 2030. The Ministry's Undersecretary for Telecommunication, Thomas Gadquoth, briefed media after the meeting.
It dwells on our project, the optical fiber project funded by the World Bank, and we were discussing how we can move forward on this direction. That had been at the managerial stages, which we want to overrun during this period. So it has been a very fruitful meeting. We have had shared ideas. We shared our experience. We secured the support of the bank. The country office has demonstrated that it will support the project, support the government in this area.
Light for the World International, in collaboration with the government of South Sudan, launches United by Sports project for 2025-2028. The project aims at fostering unity through sports across the country. Victor Elias has the details.
The government and partners are working round the clock to restore sustainable peace in the country. Light for the World International has initiated United by Sports, a transformative project deemed to light the way to peace and mutual understanding among the youth from 2025 through 2028. This day marks the launch of the noble endeavor aimed at fostering inclusion, empowerment, and unity through sports in Pibor, Bor South, and Yambio counties under the theme Play Together, Live Together, Inclusive Sports for All in South Sudan. Addressing the gathering, the Undersecretary in the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Deborah Akej, says the ministry is focused on developing sports as a means of building a stronger, more inclusive South Sudan.
We need to have inclusive sports where visually impaired, where the amputees, everyone, the intellectual disability, the special sports, where they all participate and they show their strength, and the whole world can get stunned by what the footballers who are visually impaired can do.
Our vision for United by Sport project, of course, it is to enhance intercommunal solidarity and peaceful coexistence in Bor, Pibor, and Yambio by 2028.
The Acting Director General for Basic and Secondary Education in the Ministry of General Education and Instruction, Elizabeth Ferdinand, says education and sports never part. This project will empower the youth, promote teamwork, and provide opportunities for all, regardless of background or ability.
We believe that education in South Sudan must be truly inclusive, universal, and comprehensive.
All the partners working for disability inclusion to come and join hands together with Light for the World, and we have to promote inclusive sports in this country.
The chairperson of the South Sudan Union of Persons with Disabilities, Agustino Wudu, says sports are a source of strength and dignity for persons with disabilities. He says the union welcomes this initiative and looks forward to active participation for all.
Let us support this initiative, because it will not end here. We need to take it to the rest of the states.
And sport can create doors for building peace among communities, bringing conflicting communities together.
This project targets 9,000 direct beneficiaries, 60 schools, 24 coaches, and 2 sports federations over the 3-year period, while indirectly reaching out to over 30,000 persons in a bid to fight hatred and discrimination and promote peace. Victor Elias for SSBC News, Juba.
The Commissioner General of the South Sudan Revenue Authority, Simon Okwedeng, along with his deputy Taban Abel Agwek, laid the foundation stone for the construction of custom warehouse in Juba on Wednesday. Speaking at the event, Okwei says the facility will play a key role in enhancing revenue administration and collection, as well as providing adequate storage space for imported goods entering the country through border points and Juba International Airport. The project is being implemented by Gaba General Trading and Construction Company Limited. Additionally, the commissioners of the Corporate Services Division, Kirior, and of the Customs Division, Keitong, both emphasized the importance of the project in strengthening customs infrastructure and improving service delivery. The South Sudan Revenue Authority leadership reaffirms commitment to modernizing the country's revenue system and boost domestic resource mobilization.
Today is a day of a critical milestone in the history of South Sudan, launching or unveiling the construction work of Bonded Warehouse. Following the directive of Commissioner General, forming the committee which I chair to organize the construction of this important facility, we have arrived at the point of laying a foundation stone. We all are aware of the critical need of service at the level of institution, the South Sudan Revenue Authority, and particularly Custom Revenue Division. It is the first time of its kind for South Sudan Revenue Authority to officiate the construction of the Bonded Warehouse. By having a bonded warehouse will in a way solve many of our challenges, ranging from storage.
Stakeholders from the 10 states and administrative areas convened in Juba for national consultation on child protection CHIPS. The program focuses on protecting children from violence, abuse, neglect and exploitation. Abate Simon Godi reports.
The states and administrative areas leaders on child protection has set to review the existing systems besides identifying operational challenges to foster solutions. The Warab State Minister of Gender, Child and Social Welfare, Royce Anyang Teng, representing Greater Bahr Ghazal, calls on the line institutions to effectively support the child disarmament programs.
To trust ourselves, and we push the challenges to fight for the GVB and also the child protections, and also to eliminate the risk of children associated with the armed forces. That we have to fight the risk of child adoptions, of child associating with armed forces, and also the GBB, and encourage the girl child education.
The Unity State Minister of Gender, Child and Social Welfare, Royce Nyabot, representing Upper Nile region, asked child care stakeholders to join hands to improving welfare of children through empowerment.
The young generation, when you go to the church in the different countries, you can get only old people. They are very poor. And in South Sudan, when you came to South Sudan, you have got a lot of problems. The young generation. I can affirm my people that let us protect the right of our children, because our children are our future in coming generation, for today and tomorrow.
The Eastern Equatoria State Minister of Gender, Child and Social Welfare, Jennifer Navangarika, representing Greater Equatoria, urged the partners to support the states and administrative areas on establishing necessary infrastructures related to child care.
These infrastructures are not there due to the budget of the Ministry of Gender. If you see the whole government, the lowest budget is the Ministry of Gender everywhere, from the national to the state. And now shifting this program of child protection to the government, I'm very happy, and we shall look into it and welcome all partners, not only UNICEF, all partners continue supporting this program of the child
protection.
The Abia Administrative Area Director General for Gender, Child and Social Welfare, Achek Deng Achek, representing the administrative areas, calls on coordination and cooperation among the states and administrative areas to administering the child protection strategies.
Now they are receiving the hosting many of the community, those that come from Sudan, those that come from the other side of the South Sudan also. Now we have full population in Abyei. This one, they need a lot of strategy just for the continuation, more continuation.
Strategy shift, it tends to complement the program's guidance on preventing and responding to violence against children. Abate Simon Godo, SSBC News.
Central Equatorial State Security Committee has condemned the abduction of 10 people in Lasupayam in Yei River County and burning of 2 vehicles in Morova County allegedly carried out by elements of the National Salvation Front (NAS). The condemnation comes in a meeting chaired by acting Governor Paulino Lokudu Obede on Wednesday. Speaking to the media, State Minister of Local Government and Law Enforcement Agency, Leon Abe Brown, says the meeting emphasized on the need to deepen collaboration among security agencies to address emerging threats posed by anti-peace elements in the state.
Which have happened in one of our counties, like the kidnapping of our 10 people in Lasupayam by the anti-peace, and we condemned it in a very high terms as the same the barbaric issues that are happening, burning the 2 cars in the Morobok County. That is inhuman, and we are requesting the administration of these wrong actors to release the innocent citizens of Central Equatorial State. We therefore, as the Security Committee of Central Equatorial State, we need cooperation among ourselves, we need love, we need peace.
To Akobo County in Jonglei State, where authorities have conducted a public rally aimed at fostering peace and unity among the communities in the state, has the newly appointed commissioner begins Israel. Mario Suleiman reports.
In her keynote address during the rally, the Speaker of Jonglei State Legislative Assembly, Amir Atanyaliar, underscores the state's dedications to peace as the foundation for progress. She highlights critical link between peace, food security, and infrastructure development.
هي بوابة وصمام الأمن والسلام، ويجب أن نتعامل مع محافظ الجديد من أجل الاستقرار والأمن، لأنكم سناد السلام في أكوبو. إلى أهلي ومواطنين أكوبو الشرفاء، نحن في حكومة ولاية جنغلي نعمل من أجل هذه الولاية.
The State Minister of Local Government and Law Enforcement Agency, Simon Hosdole, urged communities of Akobo County to embrace peace as a catalyst for economic growth. He calls on the youth to embark on agriculture and to join the business sector.
We are still holding the peace in Jonglei State. That is why we are here, all of us, as a government. I believe you have seen the whole heart, any sign of parties that are here. They speak according to the government of Jonglei State.
And I make sure that they will work without fear in Akobo community.
The rally highlights Jonglei State ambitious plans to combat food insecurity through agricultural activities in partnership with international agencies. For SSBC News, Mario.
Now, government and church have discussed collaborative efforts to boost basic services delivery. Abyei Chief Administrator Charles Joke Abyei and the Bishop of Al Lubayt Catholic Diocese Tombe Trila Kuku discussed enhancing education, health and other developmental programs in the area. In a media statement, Bishop Kuku expresses church's commitment to cooperating with the government to boosting education and health services across the region. Abyei Information Minister Johanna Akolngor briefs the media on the outcome of the meeting.
منطقة أبيي مولانا شارلز أبيي جوك نيابة مطرانية الأبيض بعد وصوله وحضوره للمنطقة بهدف الزيارة الرعوية للمطرانية للرعيات التابعة للمطرانية الأبيض، والطرفين أو الجانبين ناقشا سبل التعاون المشترك بين الإدارية والكنيسة الكاثوليكية الموجودة في أبيي. اللقاء كان لقاء ودي وكان لقاء مثمر، ويعني كانت هنالك يعني أطروحات أو يعني أفكار مشتركة على أساس إنه الجانبين يعني يقدروا يخدموا إنسان المنطقة. وكما هي معروف إنه الكنيسة الكاثوليكية يعني عندها أدوار يعني إنسانية قد تقوم به كجانب جسدي بالإضافة للجانب الروحي اللي الكنيسة قاعدة تقوم به. نحن كإدارة أبيي يعني شكرنا الكنيسة ويعني أكدنا له إنه من جانبنا نحن الكنيسة.
The Commissioner of Rang County, Deng Luet, launches construction of Rang River Port Rang Malakal Road, supported by the International Organization for Migration, IOM. Addressing the launch, Commissioner Luet expresses gratitude to the International Organization for Migration, IOM, for supporting the construction of the road, describing it as crucial in facilitating the movements of people and goods, as well as Association Ngor Akor appreciates the county authority and partners for launching the project.
وفي إطار برنامجنا كحكومة في مجال التنمية، نحن اليوم في تدشين الشارع بتاعت المينا والشارع الحيوي عشان نحل مشاكل كثيرة. بنقول مبروك للشعب بتاع مقاطعة الرنج، مبروك لنقابة البوتات، مبروك لحكومة بتاعت ولاية على النيل ومنظمة IOM بالتعاون مجتمعات ساهموا مساهمة كبير في إنه يدونا المرة.
And that story brings us to the end of 1 p.m. news. From me, Abraham Ken, and the whole team here, we thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.